This episode is made possible by New Masters Academy, the world's absolute #1 online art school in the entire universe. Click the link down below for a free 7-day trial. Thank you, New Masters Academy.
I am deep in your mind. I am deep in your...
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Honey and Apples After Hours podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Vincent, a background designer from the Hollywood animation industry.
And I'm Janet, the ex-Disney artist turned independent creator, and this is a podcast about all things art, business, and whatever we feel like.
Now today we're talking about YouTubers are going through changes, and why you should too.
But before we get into it, make sure to jingle all our bells and buttons.
All our bells and buttons. Oh my gosh, look at you, all cozy in your comforter, all cozy in your turtleneck, all cozy. Well, look at them. They look at them in their
You look great.
Ryakuma one piece.
Yeah, in your onesie.
Yeah.
In your scarves and your booties.
Yeah, we can't wear any of that yet because
No,
it's too hot. It's still too hot. I don't know why. It's still too hot. Today we're talking about YouTubers are going through changes, and Janet.
Yes.
You've been going through changes.
Yes, I have. I have recently realized that I don't necessarily want to be an art channel. I don't really.
Oh no.
Partly because it's just not something that's on the forefront of my mind.
My drawing and painting and art making.
I'm not really about trying to become the best that ever was at drawing and having the best art channel ever. That's just not something I'm all that passionate about. Maybe I would have been like 4 or 5 years ago, but now I'm kind of
for what?
Yeah.
For what?
It's not, and I don't know if I should say this, but I just feel and I'm not the first person to make this observation, the art community is kind of mean.
Oh.
And just, they're very...
But you're kind of mean.
Yes, but in a dry, Larry David kind of way. I mean, the art community is just kind of insecure. And they look at anyone else and try to put them down. And, it makes it very difficult to make helpful videos for artists and creatives when all they want to do is say, I hate you. And I'm just I'm just trying to help, but okay.
I feel there's a lot of artists, ex-artists in the YouTube community who feel the same way.
Yeah, the one I thought was really interesting, hearing his story, was Roberto Blake. He is a YouTuber who helps YouTubers, basically. And he has a lot of videos on how to make passive income through doing YouTube or something like this, and I didn't realize when I had followed him, because his channel basically looks like that, like a YouTube advice channel or a passive income channel, and I went way back. As I do
when you stalk people.
Every YouTuber ever that I like. He used to be an architect, and he still calls himself a creative entrepreneur, but how he got that term was he started out doing what I was doing, business advice basically for artists, specifically architects. And I remember seeing a video, I don't know if it's still up or which video it even was, but he was talking about I used to do that kind of content and I don't anymore because you guys are mean and ungrateful. That's basically why. And you guys don't care about the things that are actually important, making money. That's not
we gotta draw hands.
Yeah, we gotta draw hands.
We gotta learn how to draw hands.
Do perspective right.
Our lives depend on it. God forbid someone makes a whatever YouTube video about me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the art community.
Yeah. And so he had this realization years before I did. And then, he realized you know what, I can provide more, I can do more, I'm interested in more than just helping a bunch of ungrateful, sad to say.
Is that why do you think people are souring with the art content on YouTube?
No, I don't know why. I think art is just not top of mind for anyone right now.
Oh, I see.
During these times. But he realized that like the information he's offering is good for everyone, not just like creative people. And you know, I think the community, he probably just really disliked it as well. And you know, at the time when
is he happier now? I mean, I don't watch.
Well, yeah, he's making like $25,000 a month. Like, who wouldn't be?
That's pretty sick.
He when I heard that, I think it was like near the beginning of like when I first started doing YouTube, and I was like, well, I'll try this for myself and see. I have no idea really what he was talking about at the time. And now, like a year and a half later, I'm like, oh, I see exactly what you were talking about.
When you do the new type of content you've been doing where you're traveling and we're filming stuff and you're really taking the time to edit these things, what makes it more exciting than the stuff you used to do? At least for you right now in your stage of life. Right,
for me, it's, I guess the act of making it is a lot more challenging and fun because it's challenging. I have to wear a lot of different hats, but besides like the personal part of it, I feel like I'm sharing things, stories, and any things that are more meaningful to me than just like, look at this pretty picture I drew, or this is how you win on Instagram, or what. Like those things, they're fine, they're valuable information to someone somewhere, but like in terms of like meaningful, I don't find that meaningful. I don't find that it does anything to the world. Like it doesn't add anything to the world. It's so shallow.
Why do you have this strong desire to add something to the world? Why can't you just like be like everybody else, give up and make how to draw better hands videos?
Because I feel like other people kind of do it for themselves. And I mean, if you need that kind of validation, or you need people to love you in that way, or admire your talent in that way, then whatever, like that's what you want and need. But for me, I don't get any satisfaction from other people's adoration. Like I just want to like make something that I'm proud of. That's not like a child. Like I don't want to do that, so I'll make good YouTube videos. So I've been doing that, and I've been a lot happier doing that because it's something I find meaningful and something that I really like to do. And I realized, like, I don't know if it was because like I'm like hyper aware of these type of things now that I am going through them, but I notice a lot of other YouTubers I've watched and watching currently are also on this weird like creative evolution.
One really big YouTuber I follow, the biggest music YouTubers ever. He started off just doing just basic music instructional, just like, oh, how to do this with the major scale, to like, oh, this is how you mic up a drum kit. Mr. Rick Beato started doing those videos, and then he did the, I don't know, what do you call, like, the what makes the song great?
Yeah, like,
and then
music theory.
like yeah, and like he would take, like, I think there's like 100 episodes or more now where he takes
Christ.
You know, these classic rock songs and isolates each, you know, track and says why it's amazing or whatever. And like it's pretty cool watching him grow. And it's like I could tell recently that it came to a point where he's doing a lot of the same content, and like he likes to do these talking head videos about the music industry, sometimes really like incendiary ones. Oh, music video, oh my god, Mr. Beato, I can't believe you're saying that in public, all that kind of stuff. But like Mr. Beato had a YouTube video, like a lot of people these days, a lot of the smart YouTubers, not the dumb YouTubers, the smart YouTubers are going like, you know what, I'm gonna do something different now.
Yeah.
And Beato had a video of like I'm going through a change, or like, you know, just very clickbaity of like, oh,
Things are changing.
I'm going through changes. And then he's like, oh man, he's going to make a rock documentary or rock doc series. And Mr. Beato's well connected. Recently, he had Brian May from Queen in his show. He had Seal from Seal in his show. And Joni Mitchell, so many people. So he's very well connected, and he wants to do a grunge documentary. And like, just imagine Matt Cameron, Eddie Vedder, whoever's still alive from Seattle. Like, he's probably gonna make a really awesome a really awesome documentary. And it's just like, that's how you know. Like, Beato knows how to play bass. He knows how to play drums. He knows how to play guitar. And he knows how to play piano. And he knows how to produce like a motherfucker, you know? Like, he's really talented guy.
Yeah.
And like, after learning all of those instruments and learning all of that stuff about how to capture sound, you don't think you'd be like, you know, you think you'd have a lifetime of like creativity at your disposal, do whatever the fuck you want. Fuck that shit. He wants to make movies.
Yeah, of
this guy who
rockers.
makes and probably he wants to do it because no one else is, you know.
Before, you know, these guys are getting up there in age.
Yeah. And someone has to, like, you know, document this to inspire the next generation and all of that legacy bullshit. And that's the type of stuff I've been seeing, like, left, right, and center all over YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, it's all over the place. Everyone's like kind of like having a come to Jesus, like, I'm sick and tired of doing gear reviews. I'm sick and tired of doing educational stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm going to fucking do what I want. I'm gonna do what I've always wanted to do here on YouTube. If I'm gonna fucking like not have a 9 to 5 and have a YouTube, like have a space to create, I'm gonna capitalize on that and not just like turn it into a new job. I think that's why you're very reluctant to do crowdfunding stuff like Patreon and all that stuff, because it's just, you turn all this fun, spontaneous stuff into a job.
Yeah.
And then you're locked in. And then you have people to serve and all this stuff. And then before you know it, you're right back where you started at Disney.
Yeah. It's, you know, I've considered doing Patreon and that kind of crowdfunding thing a few times in the past, like, year and a half. Like, I've considered a lot of things. There's, like, ways I could have made...
What are your thoughts now on, like, doing a Patreon?
I still don't want to do it. Well, okay, so the main reason why I didn't want to do it is because I knew that I didn't want to be beholden to anybody just yet. Like, I didn't know if I wanted to... Like, let's say I did, like, an art Patreon. I don't know if I want to make a print a month. I don't know if I want to make a shirt a month. I don't know. When I left, I was kind of like, I want to, like, figure it out. What I kind of have an idea, yes, but, like, at the same time, like, I know for a fact how difficult it is to consistently make artwork for, like, a convention, as many conventions that we would go to. Do I really want to do that again right after I leave? No, I just want to, like, figure out this YouTube thing first. How about that? And then when I find something that I know I can do consistently and I want to do consistently for people, then maybe I would start, like, a Patreon. Then it would be no problem because I know, like, this is what I want to do.
Oh, but then you get so bored eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
Eventually. Where is that from?
Tame.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So I didn't want to do that, but then, like, you know, it's really scary to go full, like, diving into the deep end like I have doing YouTube this way. Like, most people, like, YouTube is like their side thing for a really long time until they can figure out how to make it work.
Right.
For me to go, like, sink or swim, I'm doing this because I am very passionate about this and all that. It's fewer people take that risk, let's just say. But the thing is, I feel like most people who take that risk win big, because it's not, in my opinion, the most risky thing. But you know, it is scary though, because like it means I have to live off of savings for a while. It means that like I don't not being used to not stable income, like having a different amount of income every single month. Scary when you're not used to that. You're used to stability since you started working, period. So like every once in a while when I get like consumed with these fears, which everyone has, I think about like, you know, there are a lot of ways to sell out, lack of a better word. There's a lot of things I could do that could make money fast, and I can be comfortable faster, and I could just, you know, do that. But then like I always come back to, well, I will be miserable though. Like I would literally just be doing to myself the same thing working for someone else would be. I'd be doing something I'm not completely passionate about. I'm just doing it for the money and that kind of thing, where like, but at the same time I'm trading a lot of time in order to make that money, to, let's say, make an online course, or to double down on, I don't know, Instagram videos and that kind of thing. I'm still going to be putting a lot of time and effort into it. Time and effort that the reason why I quit is so I can go do whatever makes me happy. Why would I do something that doesn't make me happy, even if it was to get rich or to make a lot of money?
But most people are afraid of risking, you know, what they're known for, or what they know brings success.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason why a lot of people don't want to do this stuff. That's a lot of the reason why a lot of creative people just do the same thing over and over and over again, because it works.
I think yeah. I mean, so I can only talk about like my own fears when, you know, deciding to leave Disney, which is a whole separate thing unto itself, and then to like change niche, kind of, sort of, with YouTube. And I think the biggest fear is like when you've built up an audience, you're really scared that like they'll all leave if you do anything to the recipe, to the niche, to whatever, to the 3 videos a week, to posting on Instagram every single day. If you mess up any of those things, you're scared that all of it's gonna come crashing down. And that like, because you decided to be kind of selfish and just do whatever it is you want to do, you're taking this huge risk that risks everything. Like, it feels like there's a very real possibility that everyone's gonna leave, and they're not gonna come like be here for it. They're not gonna support you.
I mean, that's a real possibility. But then there's another possibility where, you know, you do something that's really well received.
Yeah.
Or it's really, really good.
I
think it's like, for YouTubers, it's almost like a band. You see a lot of bands where they change, and it's just like a lot of the fans are like, no, I miss the old Kanye.
Yeah.
And then there's some bands where it's just like, I don't know, they change slowly and deliberately and in very careful ways. I don't know, but it's different for every creative person. I don't think there's a right way to change. And just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna piss people off no matter what, it seems.
Yeah, I think like comparing it to bands or really any like creative field person, whatever, I think everyone goes through the change, and if you do, you are inevitably you are taking a really big risk, and the risk either pays off or it doesn't. It's there's only 2 options there, and you can see so many bands have like changed, and then for the worse, and then what? Like, it's just like people don't like them anymore, and they fall off. And then there are bands that change, and like, oh, it's amazing, they're in like this new era of their music or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, to say that you can predict, like when you're about to make that decision, you can predict or force it to go one way or the other, it's kind of not up to you. It's kind of like you do it for selfish reasons at the end of the day. Everyone does. Because you're not happy, or like you need a challenge or something like that. And you just hope that people will like it. And for better, you hope at the end of the day you like it. It's you have
I would
one
hope
life.
though. I hope at the end the one person you please is yourself.
Yeah, that's the reason why you're doing this. You shouldn't be doing it because you're scared your fans or audience or whatever is going to leave you all because you've changed. You've changed, Kanye.
You gotta do what you gotta do as an artist, though.
And I also think, like, either way, it's inevitable. Because, like, I've been on YouTube long enough to, like, see a lot of my creators come and go, or change and become, like, something else, or not change and just become irrelevant. And I think if you decide not to change, when you feel like you're bored, when you feel like you really should, you're comfortable, maybe you're making money, maybe you're getting some amount of success, everyone has a different threshold to what is enough success. But once you get a certain amount of success and you kind of sort of know that you can just keep doing this and then you'll be fine, it's going to be a very, very slow death for you. Because I see a lot of YouTubers who basically have done that. They've just like found a formula that works and then did it a lot
to death.
Like there's like a peak and they reach like this plateau, and then they kind of stay there for a while, but then they start slowly declining and they don't know why, but they just keep still doing it, and then I don't know, everyone's just like, oh, you're irrelevant. And like examples, I would say like Philip DeFranco at this point.
Oh, Kind of Funny, and Anthony Fantano's been doing the same exact thing for about a decade now. And just like, you think, I mean, that's why I think a lot of the people who are actually teaching musical people how to create music are becoming super popular because they're actually useful.
Yeah, compared to people just pontificating about,
oh, this is why this music is good, you blah blah blah.
My tastes are good.
But like, for example, Philip DeFranco is the same. It's been the same show for forever.
Yeah, for forever.
But then what is someone like Philip DeFranco to do? I'm supposed to be the everyman, talking bullshit about the news, supposedly.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's why everyone has that thought. What am I supposed to do? I am this. That is all I provide for people. I can't change. And that's why I think people who choose to, not change with the times and just have a slow death to irrelevancy eventually just leave.
They just peace out.
Yeah. They're just like, well, my job here is done.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Never to be heard from again.
Yeah, they just leave YouTube, or I don't know, they build a separate company, sell that company, make millions, and they're like, okay, bye-bye. Whereas the YouTubers who do change, and there have been a lot of them fairly recently, the biggest one that I can think of right now is like Jake Paul.
Oh man, what a change.
He's had quite the evolution.
Yeah.
He like boxes now.
Yeah.
For real.
For real. Wait. He started as like a YouTube channel person, right?
Started as a
Disney Channel person. That's right. Disney Channel person.
I have been listening to Dear Reader, the unauthorized biography of Kim Jong-il as told to Michael Malice. It is 100% real. 100% amazing. And if you have not yet listened to this book and you don't have Audible trial, head over to audibletrial.com/the Honey and Absinthe podcast to get 1 free audiobook or 2 free Audible original audiobooks if you are an Amazon Prime member. That's audibletrial.com/the Honey and Absinthe podcast. There's also Emma Chamberlain.
Emma Chamberlain.
You don't know.
I don't know any of these people. I don't watch YouTube like that. Why are you laughing at me? I know some of these people. Who is this Emma Chamberlain?
So I was watching her video, one of her older vlogs once, and then you were watching like over my shoulder, and you were like, I can do that. Because like her personality and your personality are like the same.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember this person. Yes, yeah.
She like farted.
Yeah,
and then,
I was like, oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
I can fart on command like that.
And I remember thinking, just like admiring her content in a weird way, being like, well, this is not my cup of tea. This is like...
It's very Zoomer.
Yeah.
The Zoomers.
It's very like, oh my god, there's so much happening at the same time. There's so much energy going on and like madness. And I was just like, I can understand why this is like the content the kiddos like though. It's very like ADD content. And I was like, I applaud her for her entertainment value. Because she's literally doing like nothing. And she just still just grabs your attention just by doing nothing. But then I saw like her recent stuff and she's had like a whole change.
What does she do now?
Her vlogs are really like chill. And almost like home video.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
She's not doing the whole
Yeah, like she's
TikTok style stuff.
Very intentionally like chiller. And
what is that? Do you think that's a sign of maturity?
Well,
that type of change?
Usually these type of things come with like burnout. Yeah. So like
She's probably tired of being that on.
Yeah. That much pressure to be her. And I have noticed her and like a bunch of other YouTubers are in the same boat where like they had burnout. They stepped away from YouTube for maybe like a few months, however long they needed. And when they came back, they're like completely different. Like their content is completely different, or they made like a huge shift in like priorities. And I thought that was really neat that like sometimes burnout could lead to a good thing, like a change in your content. And then like a lot of people are really liking it because I think it matches the times. I think during such chaotic times, people wanted something that was just chiller and like cozier and less like
in your face.
Yeah.
And how could you be so in your face these days?
Yeah. And another great example is Mr. Beast. You don't know him very well. He is definitely like from the Zoom, like you would never like come across his content. I don't think it would be recommended to you. But I went out of my way to research him because he is one of the biggest creators here on YouTube, and I wanted to learn all I can from people who have clearly know a little bit of how to do this. And his journey, I can understand why a lot of the young Zoomers look up to him, because he took a long time to get where he was. He is, and he had a lot of different evolutions in his YouTube. I didn't realize he used to be like a gamer. Like he would be one of those people that would like play video games.
Like Minecraft.
Yeah. Minecraft, exactly. And then after that, he did a bunch of like random like in a way, he was kind of like one of the first like YouTube advice gurus. He actually gave a lot of YouTube advice because that was what he was obsessed with at the time. He was like researching other YouTubers and figuring out what made them successful. And he would do things like, did you know that like this is what CPM is, and like if you're getting this many views, then and your CPM is this, you can be making this much money.
So it's possible on YouTube to pivot.
Yes.
Multiple times.
Multiple times.
You just have to ride through the bit of like, you know, the process of pivoting.
Yeah. So like after he went through his like YouTube advice phase, then he became known for like the stuff he does now, which is like
extreme stuff.
Extreme, almost clickbaity, but like really entertaining random content. And like even before that, he was known for like the guy that would like give away money. Like give a homeless man $10,000 or whatever, like, and it keeps escalating. He just like gives people more and more. He gives people houses or whatever. So he's definitely had a lot of changes, and it's really inspiring to see like you can grow as a person and as a creative on YouTube, and if you do it well, you always just focus on giving people better stuff. It's not like you're having a dip in quality, then I think it's definitely a good thing. Because I think it'll, again, his risk paid off. Like, I feel like he was doing well before he started like giving away money. He was like on a good like growth trajectory, but he decided he just wanted to like do this other type of content, and then look where it got him. He's like gets millions of views on each of his YouTube videos because he learned how to get better. But if he had always stayed in that like weird in-between phase, he would have been fine. He would have been making money. He always says like he wants to be bigger and more. I think not actually for the money or for anything other than like he just wants to be the best. He's just obsessed with this thing. Yeah. One person that you probably would not have heard of unless you're also into fashion influencers like me is Asia Dang. Dang. I had discovered her, oddly enough, when I was trying to pay off debt. Because I, like most millennials, after I graduated college, I thought debt, like student loan debt, was just like
something you live with.
Because
you hear our teachers going like, "Oh, I'm still
yeah."
And then you think as a student, "Oh, well, I guess I'm supposed to just pay off my debt."
Slowly.
I
don't know how. Maybe because I'm on YouTube a lot, and I had discovered Graham Stephan, I think, first, actually. He was just...
Oh, talk about change, man.
Yeah. He was just blowing up with his, like credit card. I think it was his Tesla video was the one I saw first, or something. It was something, and then I, like, binged a bunch of his credit card stuff. And from there, I realized how, like college tuition debt, student loan debt is not something you have to live with, no matter how big the sum is. Especially because like a lot of people who have parents who really force them and expect them to go to a good college, want to go to like a private college, and it's very difficult to get into one of those with like scholarship, like full, like even half ride, you're still gonna be like coming out with hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt. So unless you have like full ride, like you're gonna have debt. But most people, it's not like they can afford it though, but people think like you have to have it, you have to have that degree from that particular college in order to be something of yourself one day. So at whatever cost, literally like 18-year-olds are signing their life away to $200,000-$300,000 in debt because they're getting loans. They're getting loans on their own name to do that, and that's kind of what Asia did. She for school, yeah. She had, what was it, like 200, 300, like 250.
Wait, for which school?
I don't remember. I think it was like
that's like art center.
Yeah.
What the?
Yeah. I don't remember what she majored in. I don't remember. But she didn't end up using it. Like, she just thought she needed that degree. Like most millennials, most Zoomers probably too, just thought you needed that degree because everyone says you need it to live. So you do it at any cost necessary. But she was the one that was like, no, I'm on this Dave Ramsey path, and I'm going to pay off. This is my plan to pay off all all $200,000-$300,000 of debt that I'm in from my stupid decision going like to college for this major that I don't even use. And she's lucky in that like she was a Maxim model like back in the day when she was a lot younger, and then she went on YouTube, and now she's made this shift because everyone has went on her on this journey of like paying off all her student loan debt, that like now she's kind of known for like finance. So she does like what I spend in a week videos, or like budget videos of like what she spent that month, and she gives some people advice on you know how you can do that too. And it was actually because of her mentioning Dave Ramsey that I was like,
I should listen to that guy.
who's this Dave Ramsey fellow? And
Oh, he's on the Patriot.
yeah, you told me. Oh, I've heard this guy before. He's on the thing. I'm like, why have you never told me about this?
What? Because it's boring. It's money
like,
talk.
No, this is like the most interesting thing I've encountered in a long time. And I listened to him religiously for like half a year because I was like mind blown. I was mind blown that I was like, wait, you mean I can do this? Like you mean I can pay off all my, for real, that's possible. And so from there, that's like that, I did it. Like I saved, I went crazy. When I started working at DreamWorks was kind of like when all of this was kind of happening.
You don't spend money on clothes.
Yeah.
You didn't spend money on entertainment, hardly on video games. The most your money ever went to was food.
Yes.
Yes.
But even so, I went crazy with my budgeting when we were living
in the apartment. Yeah.
And it was also a difficult time because you hadn't gotten hired yet. Like when I started working, it allowed you to have the opportunity to take the risk to quit the job that you had at the time to pursue animation. So we were living off of my income, and it wasn't like that much starting out as like a revisionist in DreamWorks and living in LA with student debt and all that stuff, and guild dues, so many things that you need to pay for as an adult, and I was like determined. Like I kept reading blog articles that said like, oh, it's impossible to live on a third of your income for your cost of living in LA. And I'm like, challenge accepted. And and so we lived in our little studio apartment for like 2 years. 2
years, man.
And
I would take bubble baths. I miss that.
Yes. I had a video around when I first started making videos full time here on YouTube, like detailing exactly what I did to pay off all my student debt and to be able to save up enough money to quit. And I was talking about how I made sure to like go shop at discount grocery chains.
Food for less. It's a food for less for a long time. And it's spaghetti. Many a spaghetti night. And
I was like, we are only going to spend $100 a week for the both of us and the cats.
Remember this?
Yeah,
man.
So $400 a month. Period.
Yeah.
No exceptions. There's like, if I go over, like there's only going under. There's no going over. And that's very difficult in LA. So I would like meal plan certain things and not get certain things. And then because we were also doing conventions, I was like, okay, we need travel and we need hotels, but I don't want to pay for a hotel room. So like all our expenses went on a credit card that I would pay off every month, and then I would use the points to get like free hotel rooms and stuff like that. And I have hacks for everything. Yep. I am frugal. I dove deep into the recesses of my childhood memories and went, how
can I pinch more pennies?
What would my mom do? Yes. So all of that was her fault. was Asia's fault that I went through all of that. And yeah, she had an evolution too. The fact that she went from like Maxim model, typical like hot influencer, that's how you make money off your looks, to like, I'm a smart woman who figured out how to pay off $300,000 in debt. Like,
not everybody could say that.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's important to change, but then I think a lot of people's questions are
how to change.
Yeah.
So Janet Chan, how do you change from being something that most people know you for? Something that you're like, most people know you for this, but now you want to do this. It's the great dilemma most artists.
Well, I think it's important to, try your best. I think as long as like whatever you're doing is good, I don't think anyone's gonna complain.
And I think as long as it pleases you too.
Yeah.
Like if as long as you're happy with it, I mean, if other people are happy with it, that's an added bonus.
Yeah.
What would be awful is if you changed and you hated it.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, I should have not changed.
Yeah, I think most people get stuck in this box where they're like, oh, I trapped myself in this niche or in this thing that I do, and it's not fun for me anymore. And I think, like, just figure out a way to make it fun again. And that's all you really can do. You cross your fingers and you hope people will like the new type of content that you're making, or the new kind of art, or the new kind of music, or whatever it is that you do. And I think that's all you can do. And you have to, because otherwise, what's the point of all of this? Like, if you were to become a YouTuber, you were to take that risk, and you were to do this other path in life that everyone's going to look down on you for a really long time until you make it, or everyone's just going to judge you for doing something that is abnormal, not on the beaten path, then like why would you do this? Otherwise you would just go and get a normal job. Just go and do something easier. Go and do like the normal job that everyone hates, and do like
just be like everybody else.
Yeah. Today we are recommending
recommending Beyond the Lighted Stage, the Rush documentary. Rush rock band.
Yes. It's
we like we said in the previous podcast, we've been going on these rockumentary binges, and then we're like, hey, there's this one, let's watch this one. And then this band really impressed you with their hardworking work ethic, but there was one person in particular that you really, really liked from this trio. I
really like Neil Peart. He's the drummer. Because he's
rest in peace, by the way.
He is exactly like me.
Oh, yes.
I keep like gravitating towards people who I'm like, wow, they're like me. Because like it's so rare.
So far there's Zappa.
Yeah.
Now there's Neil Peart.
Yes. I think I'm probably more like Neil Peart than I am like Zappa's a little crazy. But Neil Peart is like fascinating to me because he kept doing things in the documentary that I was like, oh, that's something I would do. That's something I totally do. Like, for example, everyone who meets him is like kind of scared of him because he gives them the cold shoulder. He just doesn't want to talk to you. So there's like one drummer. I think it was a bassist. The bassist for Rage Against the Machine. Yeah. You're like my favorite drummer. And then he was like, leave me alone, kid. Basically. Or like after a show, everyone does like the backstage meet and greet thing, taking pictures with the fans. Like, yeah, signing autographs, whatever. And like Neil was like nowhere to be found. Yeah. He was like reading his book somewhere. And that's like totally me. That's like me an hour into a party, and I go like, okay, let's go home. I showed my face, right? Let's go home. Yeah, I like him a lot. Yeah, really, really good documentary. Thank you for joining us on today's podcast. We'll subscribe, check out these other episodes over here to binge our other content, and we will see you next time. Bye.